So this old teacher said to his assembly, if you get it the first time you hear it, you'll teach Buddhas and ancestors. You'll be able to teach Buddhas and ancestors. If you get it the second time you hear it, you'll be able to teach gods and humans. If you get it the third time you hear it, you won't be able to save even your sorry self. Somebody in the assembly stood up and said, Master, when did you get it? And he said, the moon sets at midnight. I walk alone through the village. Or I walk alone through the town. So if you get it the first time you hear it, like, if you get Zen, first time you hear about Zen, if you get enlightened the first time you read a book about Buddhism or whatever, you'll be able to, you're a natural, whatever that is, you'll be able to teach Buddhas and ancestors. It'll be the best. You get it the second time you hear it, you can teach gods and humans. No, not as good, but I love that Buddhas and ancestors are above gods. That says something about Buddhism, right? For Zen, at least. You'll be able to teach gods and humans. If you get it the third time you hear it, you're doomed. You're doomed. For most of us in the room, it's like, it took me, 1,000 years to get it, so I don't know where that puts me, but Master, when did you get it? And then this wonderful answer, which is really no answer at all, and much more of an answer than the student's looking for, which is, the moon sets at midnight. I walk alone through the village. And so the basic rules of koan work are just trust the koan. And you can trust that whatever's happening in your meditation is the koan at work. Everything from the itch on your toe that won't go away, to the sound of the traffic, to your mind thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, to whatever deep, wonderful insights present themselves to you. Koan work is highly egalitarian. You don't have to favor one thing over another, although you notice there's a part of the mind that likes that. I want insights. I want more insights and less toe itches. Right? So it's like natural, whatever it is. And it's okay, you can notice that. But you can also notice. Hey, oh hi. You can also notice that you have a capacity to give equal attention to each, right? Which is kind of cool. And that it's just like that thing about listening to someone, even though they may not be speaking, that they're still sort of speaking, right? Their presence is still speaking. So even if you're not, whatever's showing up in your meditation is not something that you deem interesting or helpful, it may seem very unhelpful and uncomfortable and you want to get rid of it as soon as possible. You can give your attention to that as well. Just let it speak to you. And so the thing about, if you get it the first time you hear it, right, it sets up these kind of levels, which is, you notice that the mind is always doing that. Do I get it yet? Do I get it yet? Did I get it before you? Did I get it before her? Oh, it took me 10 years, but at least I got it before. Right, so there's always this, I don't know what that is, the competitive part of the mind, or not even like kind of a happy competition, but there's a judging and comparing thing that goes on. And am I better than I was yesterday? And there's a lot of societal stuff there, right? We've got to be better than we were yesterday. We've got to work harder. We've got to be stronger. We've got to whatever. And so for me, this koan kind of brings that up. And the thing is that there's not anything to fix about that necessarily. You can just notice what it's like when your mind does that. When it sets up those bullet points. This would be best, this would be better, this would be terrible. And how we set up ranking systems for ourselves like that. And then the answer that the teacher gives is this, like, it's the thing I like to think about. The questions that we come to Zen with frequently are like multiple choice questions or true-false questions. And what Zen gives us is like full technicolor answers. Right, so when did you get it? He's expecting, well, I got it the first time, or I got it the second time, or I got it the third. It took me this long. And the teacher's really not interested in that line of thinking, right? Because it's still within the box that we lug around with us everywhere about better, worse, right, wrong. It's just the moon sets at midnight, I walk alone through the village. So there's something there too, and the moon setting is, the moon in Zen is a big image of enlightenment. The full moon is kind of the fully awakened mind or something like that. And so it's kind of cool too that even in his moment in the town at midnight, even his enlightenment has left the scene, which is kind of a beautiful thing. Oh, enlightenment's so great. And in Zen, once you get enlightenment, you try to get rid of it as quickly as possible because it just ends up getting in the way, kind of. And so this beautiful scene, and darkness in Zen is a big metaphor too. It's just dark. You can't see your way. Which is, if you notice for even 1 second of your life, you can't know what's going to happen, right? So kind of cool. So there's this thing about Zen, rather than being a path that necessarily guides you to some kind of predetermined destination that you think will make your life better, it actually just points us toward, we don't know what's better or worse, and we can't predict the next moment. And so actually there's a tremendous amount of freedom in that. Right? When we stop pretending like we know what's going on, and we can predict other people, and we think we know what they're thinking and feeling, and when I stop trying to predict what I'm going to say or do next too. There's this thing of, like, we're constantly rehearsing what we're going to say or what we're going to do, then it's kind of robotic, and it's just, I don't know, for me it squeezes some of the fun out of life. That thing about being in the dark. Everyone wants a flashlight. Does anyone just want to be left in the dark? And that's where Zen puts us. And so a lot of what happens in meditation, and a lot of people think meditation is difficult, is because instead of being in the dark, we're frantically looking around for a light switch, and that's painful. Oh my God, where did I leave my flashlight? This room is not how I remember it being last time, and this room has never existed before this moment. So yeah, what would that be like? We do a great, at long retreats at PZI, we do, I think we've done it at one of our retreats here too, an exercise called the first day of the universe. And it's usually a couple days into retreat, and the teacher will come out in the morning after the first few meditation periods, and it's still kind of cool and darkish, and give the instructions to take your koan out, walk around with it, and imagine it's the first day of the universe. You've never seen any of this before, you've never heard any of this before, you don't know what anything is or what it's for. If you notice a name or an explanation arising in your mind, so you just let that go and just have the thing, whatever it is. And that's kind of being in the dark in that way. And people are not always entirely comfortable with that. So meditation is just that. It's not making a light so we can see where we're going. It might be settling into sort of the truth that we don't know where we're going. And yeah, it's kind of nice, right?
Settling into the darkness.
Settling into the darkness, yeah. And I think, for me at least, interesting things come up out of the dark. Right? Creativity comes out of the dark. Innovation comes out of the dark. New ideas, new ways of relating to people that maybe I have kind of old, encrusted, rusty relationships with. If I'm in the dark with somebody, I might be seeing them for the first time, and I might realize, I don't know why I hated you so much. You're really interesting, or whatever it is. I don't know why I've been so critical of my wife. She's wonderful. Yeah. I don't know why I've been so critical of myself. I'm wonderful. Look at me here doing this thing, whatever it is. It's just kind of cool like that. So rather than trying to bring our flashlight into every moment, we can actually start finding the darkness in every moment. And we end up turning out the lights on purpose, because it makes things more interesting and more free. We don't have to worry about what other people are thinking or feeling, because they're absolutely mysterious, just like us. And so I don't have to constantly be like trying to perform based on what I think other people are thinking of me. Well, probably what they're thinking about is a ham sandwich or whatever it is